everybody. Welcome to episode 1240 of FloWrestling Radio, live from Austin, Texas, presented by Nike Wrestling, our dear friends at Nike Wrestling. Today, the usual duo joins me. Am I right? Father John Kozak. He's been deep in the rule book. The NCAA is dropping memo after memo. We're trying to keep up. Kozak, with his special glasses, our fastest reader. So he can read and process information at a high rate of speed. That's why he's on the show. To the left.
Because glasses are PEDs.
Yeah, glasses are PEDs, and his are stronger than mine, making him the most enhanced person on the show. Mr. All Natty, JD Raider. He's just here for the good looks and the mustache and the fire takes. JD is here. Our producer, Nikki, from Evanston, also a flat earther, we learned. So, you know, that's why Nikki's not on the show. JD, we got a lot of big news. I should mention Kyle Douglas Dake going to be joining us in 1 hour, and I want to say at the top of the hour. That sounds so like wow. This is a big broadcast. But he'll join us at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central. JD, can you scoot to your left? Ask Flat Earther Nikki. You're blocking our friends at Nike Wrestling.
Sorry, I would never do such a thing.
Yeah, you could go a little more to the left the way I'm eyeballing here. There we go. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. Making up for lost time. Get it going, JD. How do we start?
We got to start with this new NCAA eligibility rule. We've been talking about it all summer. It's kind of been more or less a foregone conclusion. They tease us, but it's official now. 5 for 5 is official. But Kozak, you got to break it down to us because some guys aren't going to get their 5 years who thought they were going to get 5 years because there's a new twist into it.
Yeah, it's officially official. It's passed. And the NCAA, they've been teasing it, right? They've been giving us some of the details. But going into it, like we didn't have full clarity on when the eligibility clock would start, what
does apply,
who it affects. Yeah. And either late last night or early this morning, they released the details. And so September 1st is the cutoff date. According to the NCAA, if you turn 19 before September 1st, your first year of eligibility clock starts on September 1st of that next year. And so that's huge for the number one recruit in the class of 2026, Bo Bassett. He turns 19 a week before September 1st. So as I read the rule, Bo will only have 4 years.
Which is, it's a shame. Well, one, just because what the NCAA had been putting out, their verbiage was fall, 19 before fall semester, et cetera. And so with that, it seemed like, okay, Bo will be fine because he's not a July birthday. Most schools start in early August. His birthday, I think, is August 22nd. So he would be fine. He's definitely the one that's like the closest. Like Jax was born in October. I think Melvin is November. Yeah. So they're going to be good. But now I don't think this has been conceded anywhere, but it's just as we read it, and we're only getting this like earlier this week when it said, hey, it's passed, and I was reading everything I could about it. I was reading fall. All I could see was fall. But now they put an actual date to it, and instead of when the school year actually starts, they're just saying, hey, every school, I don't know why, but every school starts at a different date, but by September 1, everyone's going, and so we'll just do it like that. Mm-hmm. And it could be a 9-day or so difference that ultimately would take Bo out of the 5-year category.
Yeah, there are some other details that have changed over the last few months. So the one is the 5-year clock would start after you graduate high school. Now it starts at enrollment or the year after you turn 19. So what this means is for some of the younger graduates like Jaden James, who's just turned 18 or is still 17, he could delay his enrollment a year, enroll in college, and still get 5 years. So it is a strictly age-based eligibility. Doesn't have anything to do with when you graduate high school. It's when you enroll and your 19th birthday.
Yeah. So it's honest. It's obviously significant. It's significant news for wrestling. This is something that has been, there's been roster decisions, years out in preparation for this, and now that it's here, there's some teams this is going to really affect. There's some obviously individuals like Bo that it's going to really affect, and I would say, even though we have this, it's like, all right, well, the dust is still going to settle on this, and before we figure out everything, but this does seem pretty certain to me.
And they have to make a decision whether you want to opt into the 5-for-5 rules or your 4-for-4 by July 30th or 31st.
Yeah.
The end of July. So theoretically, assuming Bo cannot get 5 years of eligibility, he could and should opt into the old rules, and then he could get a medical red shirt if he needed it, a normal red shirt, an Olympic red shirt. You only get 4 years, but you give yourself some flexibility there at least.
Yeah, and that's one of the things maybe we didn't mention this show is that red shirts are a thing of the past in the new eligibility rules moving forward. It's simple, clear, you get 5 years, and what makes me think this won't change, like they won't change the date, and right at the end of the NCAA's, kind of big long sheet of details on this, they say, in short, eligibility will be determined by clear rules, not exceptions. And so it's like, hey, cutoff date's the cutoff date, age is age, but they do have some exceptions. It's the 2 exceptions are military and religious mission, also pregnancy for women, I would assume.
Yes.
You feel bad for Bo, but at the same time, it's hard to feel too bad.
Well, he's going to get 4, right? He probably thought all along, I'll get 4 years of eligibility. And, he'll get the added flexibility if he takes it of a medical or whatever. Or he could just get a regular red shirt.
You could do both.
Also.
In an Olympic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so technically Bo could be in college for longer than 5 years.
So while we say, hey,
Gray shirt while he's at it.
red shirts are the thing of the past, they're not really a thing of the past yet. It's going to be like 4 or 5 years because this class can opt into one or the other.
Now, most people aren't going to be turning 19 or turning 20 before September 1st. So I would assume most people will go 5-for-5.
Yeah.
It's a very small number that are that old.
Now, I mean, I say that no exceptions, this is it. We've already seen lawsuits followed for...
I'm halfway joking. Just take the NCAA to court. You're probably going to win.
Right. And that, so right when they passed the rule, as soon as it became official, the next day, there was like a big lawsuit filed for, I think, 15 basketball players that were 2022 high school grads, never redshirted, and their eligibility is gone, but they would get 5 years under the new rules. And so that would be for wrestlers like Jesse Mendez or Levi Haynes, which is like, maybe we could see them back if this goes through.
Well, the NCAA put out a statement yesterday. They're not going back on that. They're like, they exhausted their eligibility under those rules. They're done. And I just think they don't want to.
The NCAA doesn't want to, but their hand was forced.
Yeah.
The NCAA didn't want to have to pay college athletes. Their hand was forced.
I do not anticipate this changing. My question is, very obviously, like guys like Jack, Sergio Vega, Landon Robidoux, PJ Duke, they're guys that are going to get the 5 years. But who's someone like we're not thinking about who's just finished their true junior season going into their senior year? Are there guys like that we're like, oh, wow, we're going to get an extra year of this guy? Meyer Shapiro.
Yeah.
Would be one.
Which is maybe why he hasn't transferred anywhere.
Yeah, because he's trying to figure out, like, the idea with Nebraska, it seemed like Nebraska, you come in, redshirt behind Trelli, then go, but you don't redshirt Meyer Shapiro if he's got 2 years, right? So does that change things? I know he's been in Carolina. Was he looking at NC State maybe or UNC? I can't recall. But, he's definitely a big cog there.
It is interesting just with this happening so late, and you think about teams that put recruiting and so much thought into a lineup and trying to get it to kind of align. Mm-hmm. Transfer portal's not open right now.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy. a lot of people were like, hey, are they going to open it up because of this? Like, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It would make a lot of sense, and I think it'd be appropriate, but there's no indication. I've asked around, and it doesn't sound like anyone's anticipating that it would happen. But why not? I mean, there's so many people that are affected by this decision, but maybe they'll jump in later on.
Maybe. You think this is a good thing for wrestling?
Yeah, I do. I like it. I mean, I think 5 is great. It's exciting. I like the I like the simplicity, even though it's actually going to be, for the first 4 or 5 years, way more complicated because you're going to have like these parallel 2 different rules. You know, you're opting into this rule. But eventually I think it's going to be fine. There is like the nostalgia of, okay, you know, Kale's perfect for, right? And things like that. There are some records, and I'm sure for other sports it's going to be, you know, change that. But at a certain point, I think it's probably a good thing for these guys. And I like the idea that we're going to see these. And is it going to end up spreading out some talent to other places? That's been theorized. That has not been realized yet. But now that this rule is reality, does it change things? I don't know. But I don't think that would be a bad thing either, right? I mean, it's just a bottom line to have. Think of the talent that's going to be. We're not going to get to watch them hardly at all. Like, forget that. You know, they're making a choice for it, but like, you want to watch the best wrestlers wrestle, and you think about guys like, you know, you think about Seeley, and you think about Ryder or Norman, or you think about one of the Rainies, and you think about, you know, Connor Mirasola, and all these guys that are so good. It's like, it's not like for a fan of the sport, I want to watch all these guys compete in the NCAA season. And like, I understand that not making the team is part of what makes wrestling really cool and exciting, but at a certain point, it's like there's like a huge percentage of the best wrestlers in the country that are not wrestling, and that does make the field at the national tournament worse, right? The field is not as good if the best wrestlers aren't in it, right? And so at a certain point, that product is diminished, whether you like it or not. It's simply true that if those guys were on other teams, they'd be in the tournament and they'd probably be placing. So it would make the overall tournament experience better. Is that a huge deal? Maybe not to most, but I like watching these guys wrestle, and not just in freestyle or at opens or spot starting.
I don't think it's going to change it that much. Joe Seeley redshirted a while back, and he's still at Penn State. If he was going to Penn State to for sure be the starter,
he wouldn't go.
He would have transferred out already.
I totally agree with you, and that is the when a lot of people were like, okay, now that this is in, now that we're going to see the floodgates open. I was like, Connor Mirasola hasn't had a clear path to starting in a long time. Before anyone was talking about 5 for 5, everyone knew Connor Mirasola is going to have a huge problem starting, right? And everyone knows that Josh Barr has 2 years remaining at Connor's weight. It's just everyone knows it. So I don't see how 5 for 5 changes a lot of these dynamics in reality. Like one of the Rainies, if 5 for 5 didn't pass, one of the Rainies is going to be, you know, it was going to be a challenge for one of them. One of them's going to have to sit.
A lot of times those top recruits, or maybe not top, but you're second tier, quote unquote, you're like...
Dude, there's no world where one of the Rainies is second tier. They are like apex, blue chip, monster recruits. Monster recruits.
I meant your undeniables. You're kind of one of ones.
I think they are undeniable. I think the
Rainies... One of them is going to be denied. They're not both going to be in the lineup.
They're undeniable top 4 guys in my mind at the national tournament. I really think that. I think the Rainies are that caliber.
I think they're very good too. I'm just saying, I just don't see a world where both of them are in the lineup this year.
Yeah, because...
That's what I'm saying. One of them is going to sit.
Yes.
One of them is not an undeniable in the Oklahoma State lineup because Oklahoma State is that good.
Yes.
Yeah, right? Just like Penn State is going to have Marcus Blazer Ono or somebody on the bench.
Well, and the 5 for 5 almost magnifies that more that one of them's sitting because they are losing a year of eligibility now.
And I think that's just going to become more normal is even if you're a top 20 big boarder, you might have to sit a year if you want to go to a Penn State, Oklahoma State caliber school. You go, this is the best place for me.
Now, what if the Rainies opted into the old rule?
That's what I was just going to say.
And they could flip-flop.
It might be better for them.
Still get 4.
And Olympic red shirt. And
yeah, because
not better for the one that's going to start this year and thinks he can run the table for 5 years.
One of them can still start this year.
Yeah, they don't have to do the same thing.
I know, but I'm saying the one who wants to start this year wouldn't want to opt in because then he only gets 4 years. But if he goes this year and goes, yeah, well, I'm just going to run the table.
Yeah, when do you have to opt in?
You have to opt in by July 31st.
Dang it.
Which is partly the reason why I thought that August 1st was going to be the cutoff date, because in everything that I was reading, it was like end of the academic year is July 31st. So I don't know. I'm really surprised they made that September 1 date.
I'm guessing they made it because most schools start in August across August time period. So they're like September 1st, 90% of colleges are already in session unless you do a weird like quarter or trimester thing. That's our date. Boom. September 1st, it's clean. Pretty much everybody, all Power 5 schools are in session. Boom. September 1st, clean. Because it seems like that's what they want now, clean. Which is why I like the 5 for 5. I've always said red shirts are dumb.
You have said that for a long time.
I do not like them.
I think it's a weird concept.
Weird concept, and it went against the concept of originally what they always said, which is you're a student athlete, not an athlete student, so you shouldn't even need that. It's just like a high school where you go
for 4 years
and then you're done.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of the whole concept, which obviously wasn't true. We don't play football, we don't play wrestling.
No.
Or we don't play school. So I always thought it was dumb, but I like the 5 for 5. I wouldn't have even hated it if it was 4 for 4. If you
1 year, get them out.
If you want to get on your horse about, now somebody's going to be able to break all the new records and get 5 titles and the old guys. But I am fine with 5 for 5. I do think.
I mean, Dan Gable only got to wrestle in 3. It used to be only 3. So it's only.
You just kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
It will become harder to become the quote unquote, like now it's 5-time, but versus 4-time, because a good amount of the 4-timers redshirted their freshman year and wouldn't have won it, a la Kale, too.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's almost going to be harder to become the new, it'll be a 5-time champion, but that's the new 4-timer.
Yeah.
Essentially. It's going to be hard to do that.
It is going to be hard to do.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no one's going to get 159 wins even with 5 seasons.
How many did Sergio have this year? He had a decent amount, like
probably 25.
25.
Maybe. Let's look it up.
He had 24 wins this year.
24. He's not
even going to get to 150.
Yeah.
Right?
No, 120.
When he's the next Kale.
I mean, if he does that 4 years, he's like
Yeah.
140 some. That's crazy.
Let's look at kind of the Penn State, Oklahoma State lineups, because these are obviously the two teams, Virginia Tech now too.
Yeah, there's
who this is going to affect the most. Penn State, with their log jams, 125, 133, 141. What's the layout for the next couple of years?
Well, that's the big question. I feel like for Penn State, the Marcus Blaze kind of dictates, right? He's going to go where he wants, and then the other pieces will fall in place around him. Right now, I mean, it's hard to envision Marcus moving up next year, knowing he's going to hold basically 133 through the fall, and didn't seem to be a guy that's bursting at the seams to go up a weight. Of course, those rangier guys, you never really know, but it seems like he's good size for that weight. So I think my point being, he stays 33.
Unless he's winning a medal.
Huh?
Then he's sitting.
Yeah, especially if he wins a medal, but I think he will. So, okay, what does that mean? Well, it means Ono, Braden Davis, Nate Desmond battling it out for 141. That's tough, and that's a really competitive situation. Can Ono get through that? Because I think if Ono can get through those guys, he's definitely going to be a
Someone in the chat asked if Ono will get another year.
Someone texted me that he gets 2 now.
I was going to say I think he would because he's only 22 now. And
Yeah.
so if they do the age-based eligibility, he could get 2 more.
I need to see him.
I don't know. I don't know. His situation is so weird. I don't know what. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he could get 2 years.
Why would he get 2 when he wouldn't have before?
Because
Extra 1 now because of 5 for 5.
because of the age thing. Because it's strictly based on
How old you are.
how old
when
you are.
started.
But I don't know. I guess it also
Yeah, but
depends.
there used to be no age restrictions.
Yeah, but then
before.
he would have only gotten. I don't know. You'd have to look more into it. We don't need to get in the weeds. But
Yeah.
the only reason why he wouldn't is if he enrolled in college early or regularly, and he's done with 5 years. But I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see.
I think he's going to get another one.
2-piece of Ono.
Yeah. Sidon, he's just going to be, he's a rising senior, right?
Or is he done?
I don't know. Let me check.
I think he was a junior, going to be a senior.
2027? Yeah,
Thinking
that's
of
right.
You thinking of Gray Burnett?
Oh, I could be thinking of young Gray.
Sidon is class of 2027.
Okay, so he's got another year. All right. But yeah, he's going to probably have to sit behind Luke for a year, it would seem.
Well, Gray Burnett's coming too.
And Gray. Yep.
Because
So 41 is
Mitchell going to do another year?
he doesn't get one.
he redshirted.
Oh, you're right.
Cal B. But 57's the big one with Kasak redshirting last year. PJ's not going to. The idea was flip-flop red shirts. Now PJ's not going to want to or need to or have any desire to redshirt. So,
He'll be able to.
huh?
Assuming he opts into 5.
Yeah, exactly. He could opt in, but I don't see him doing that. So Kasak and Duke at 57, Seeley and Mitchell at 65 or 74 there if they all just clear out for Mitch. And then 74, you've got Jaden James, Hinkle, maybe Cunningham. And then, of course, 97, you've got Bart and Mirasola. And just not a lot of this just – and there was I don't know what the article – I think Nittany Sports Now did something like everything just got easier for Kale Sanderson. I'm like, well, I don't know if that's the word I would use. I think maybe it got simpler in that, okay, use wrestle your best lineup every year, essentially. But they lose so much flexibility with what they could do with red shirts, Olympic years, medicals. Flexibility and the more pass you can do things, Kale has proven to be able to like take advantage of every level of nuance that the sport gives him, whether it's NIL, RTC, etc. He's been able to make it work. And so this is just a little less opportunity for him to do that. It's just like, this is it. And so easier, I would not say. Simpler, sure. I'll grant you that.
You also don't get data on a guy to decide who is better. I mean, at the end of the year, yes, but yeah, with no red shirt. But he used to be able to be like, all right, hey, you're going to red shirt for now. You prove you're the guy partway through the year, towards the end of the year.
Like
We'll let you run.
Levi's freshman year. That's what they did with him. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. But maybe you end up getting more data on all the guys because you can send everyone everywhere and you can have a more clear picture of who the best wrestler is.
What about Oklahoma State?
Well, theirs is interesting. I mean, everyone knows I'm pretty freaking high on Rockland Zinkin, but I just can't see him as good as I think he is. I can't see him surpassing Troy Spratley. Spratley is great, but also just feels like, I don't want to say the heart and the soul, but he feels like he's like the leader there and the guy they kind of take their cues from. I could be wrong. I just watch a lot of Stilly Boys with Caleb, so maybe not. But seems to be the case. And I have a hard time, barring injury, seeing Spratley circumvented there. But 33, Jax, Ronnie, Rainey. 41, Tegan, Rainey, Hughes, McComas. And, those last two are probably less in the conversation, but still really deep. 65 now with D, Swiderski, Facundo, I think is going to drop, and Cody Rutledge. Those are four. That's three guys that all wrestled at Who's Number One. One was Ironman champ, like Cody Rutledge, super good. Norman and Ryder at 74. Looks like that'll be a battle. Michael White and Bennett Berge at 84. Then it thins out up top in terms of their depth, but they're still really good there with Merrill and Drayshawn back to back. But yeah, a lot to figure out and navigate there with that many guys.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. One other kind of lineup note. I don't know if you have any insight, but I saw a tweet today. Seidel moving up. 41. Is there truth to that potentially?
I hadn't heard that.
I know there was talk of that after the season because he's huge, and then he went 61.
Well, and he made the U20 World Team, so it's like he's gonna wrestle 61 in.
I think someone. I mean,
August.
Twitter's free. You can tweet anything. I don't think. I mean, he could. I'm not saying he's not, but
Failing New York Times report this.
they perhaps did. That would just surprise me, just because. Well, are you going to beat Bo Bassett for that spot? Or is Bo Bassett going to go up and beat Caleb Henson? Like, unless Bo is going to redshirt, which is insane, or, I mean, Seidel would not want to opt into the old rules. Like, he could redshirt and go behind Bo, or, and wait a year, but that doesn't make any sense either. So, it kind of, I won't say it nukes, but it drops a pretty damaging grenade in the middle of the Virginia Tech lineup if he's not a 33 this year. He needs to do it for a year, and then, shoot, he could double bump up to 49 next year if Bo's still a 41 the year after that. But I would be stunned if they don't.
Yeah, suck him down one more year.
One more year. If JD will get him down.
I'll get him down, nuts and bolts.
Don't worry about it, Aaron. It's fine.
We'll
Jared, Tony, don't even sweat it.
Yeah.
JD's got this.
All right. Moving back to Final X, kind of putting a bow on Final X, and we'll get to a bunch of questions from that we didn't get to last show. But we didn't talk much women on. Didn't talk any women's Final X results last show. 2 high schoolers.
Yeah.
Making the team, winning at Final X. Morgan Turner and Everett Slydecker.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Sitting there with Jordan, who works with Morgan, and you're watching. You're working, but then over there, you're like, that like this athlete you've worked with for a while is competing. But I don't know. I don't have favorites, but it's cool. I love the storyline of high schoolers. I love that these blue chip talents like Morgan and Everest are going to get senior level world championship experience. Like, are they ready to do what Amit did? I don't know. I don't know if they're ready to go and win. But I know that they're going to be fixtures of the senior level team for years to come, and this experience can be invaluable for them. So, I'm excited to see what they can do. They're both tremendous wrestlers.
Yes, they are. Other couple notes. Amanda Martinez kept it closer than a lot of us, myself included, with Helen than I thought she would. But Helen did say she was the sickest she's ever been while competing at Final X.
Dang.
Not the sickest she's ever been in her life, but she's never been this sick while competing at Final X in her post-match interview. So
yeah,
maybe something to take into account and note.
Makes you feel a little better with the closer results. She was never in danger of
No.
of losing.
The second match was a closer one, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it was
8-1, 8-0,
It was
guys.
2-0 with like 30 seconds left.
Okay.
And she ended up
That's right.
getting a takedown on a couple turns. You could tell she was kind of visibly upset at the end of that one.
Yeah. We still have 2 matches where they're waiting to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Haven't heard.
I thought you were saying there was results that weren't updated, but yeah, a couple matches still.
The Dugo Macy Kilty series was pretty insane. That one's worth going back.
Yeah, definitely watched that. I watched match 3.
Yeah, the 3. It went to all 3 matches. Okay, Kozak. Before we get to questions from our friends, I'm going to shout out our friends at athleteps.com, Nike Wrestling. Look, right here. I had to move so we can get them in. We got to get them in because they're a great supporter of this show.
James Green there.
Yeah. James Green, Nike Athlete. You can be like James Green. You just got to go get some Nike wrestling shoes at athleteps.com.
You can be like James Green and make a world team when you're 34 4.
Yeah. Or like
I
Kyle
could be
Dake.
like Green.
Yeah.
Kyle Dake, 35.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's sort of funny. There's such a youth movement in wrestling, and still you've got these guys that are still doing it.
James Green's 33 years old.
Nice.
Wild. Says he's 5'9", too.
Oh, by the way, Tough Dave in the office.
Hey,
I knew it, and I knew it, and I knew it. The moment the lie left his lips, the liar, the father of lie, John Kozak.
You got confirmation.
You are misremembering.
From the mouth
I
of Luke
re-listened.
Lilledall that he is 5'6".
I said he's right around 5'7", and 5'6" is right around 5'7".
No, I said he's not 5'7".
But then you did also say he's taller than you and that you were 5'6".
Yeah, that was not true. I misspoke there.
That was not true. Also known as a lie from the father of lies.
No, it's one of those things where you say it and then you have to go back and think about it. So, was that true? Did I get caught up in the moment? Yes, I was untrue.
But you were not getting out in front of it. JD had that you lied to America.
No, I'm the one that brought up that James Green is 5'9". That was the cue.
Okay.
For JD, we talked about
See how
it.
quickly? He's a silver tongue, you know what? He's a serpent.
No, I mean, I think my point was that Luke Lilledall is tall.
For the weight class.
Super tall. 5'6". Is very tall.
He's tall.
He is tall for the weight.
For 125 to be 5'6", that's pretty tall.
He's a monster.
So we'll stand next to him.
Not Ethan Lezak, but he's tall.
Lezak was so big. I remember when he went up.
Lezak was at least 5'7".
Come on. Sam Latona,
Latona.
so big. Sam Latona has the distinction of being the biggest person at 3 different weight classes. That was cool.
How tall was Ethan Lezak?
It's not going to say.
5'8".
Bro, this is just made. This stuff is all made up.
This said Lilledall was 5'8" too.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It said he was 5'7". I don't know. There's no way to know.
Dude, just give it up.
I just got to stand next to him. Not Kozak, though, apparently.
Lezak was a beast.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he gave us the famous gas from top.
Bottom.
From bottom, sorry.
Bottom. Yes.
We never know we can gas people from bottom if it's not for Ethan Lezak.
Yeah, I know. He gassed so we could.
Gave us the great backpack commercial.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ethan Lezak, for all that you have done for the sport of wrestling
All right, let's go.
and the entertainment of Flow Wrestling.
All righty. Let's see here. Bobby Kebbell. Who are the biggest tests for Ono in college? I think it's Jackson Seidel because they're probably the 2 best top wrestlers in the country.
I think it's not just top wrestlers. I think that's obviously folk style specific, but like who can
Those are also 2 of the best wrestlers in the world at
Yeah.
61 kilograms. So
like who can extend exchanges, who can dive under, who can make finishes a little bit tougher. Because it's like he's crafted his leg attacks and finishes based on the rules of freestyle, right? So what's going to happen when guys are passing, when guys are exposing, but that doesn't really matter. It does not matter in folk style. So I think it's not just the top aspect. I would say Jackson Seidel are challenges because of the former rather than the latter. I think that's just as much as a factor for Ono. Because ultimately, if you're Masanosuke Ono, you should not go under these people. There's no unless like he just gets rock solid under there, which would be insane to me. Even still, like I don't know, there's a different level with Jackson, Aaron, and maybe others.
I want to remind the world about Ryan Crookham too.
Yes. Please. I mean,
I know everyone forgot about him.
that's case in point for a guy that can extend positions
Yes.
unconventionally using the folk style rule set. And if that guy's on the mat, he is very dangerous.
All right, Shocked FRL. Would you rather have 2 more Olympic weights or Penn State versus Oklahoma State every year?
I don't know if this is the guy that asked me if I would say something bad about Cal or have 10 Olympic weights. But this is another tough one.
I'm going Penn State, Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Because spin zone, we get a lot of sick matches because there's only 6 Olympic weights that we wouldn't get otherwise.
Yes.
Like,
Also-
I agree. I want 10.
You guys hate wrestling.
I want 10. You hate college wrestling.
This is every
You
year.
hate college wrestling. You're thinking about wrestling every 4 years. I'm thinking about wrestling every year.
Yeah.
And like I said, spin zone, 10 weight or 6 weight sucks, but sometimes you get really cool matches that you wouldn't otherwise get. Like,
No.
Do we? I don't know if we do, honestly.
Here's the thing.
I think it's a little overplayed,
Penn
to be honest.
State versus Oklahoma State not wrestling is fuel to the fire for
Kyle
when
Dake
they
would be
do
going 79.
wrestle.
We wouldn't get Zahid Valencia versus Kyle Dake.
Listen, Penn State versus Oklahoma State not wrestling, it just builds the rivalry even higher so that when they wrestle at the NCAA tournament,
They don't wrestle at the NCAA tournament. They happen
What are
to
you talking
overlap.
about?
They happen to have select individual matches.
did PJ Duke wrestle Landon Robidoux this
Yeah,
year at the
but that wasn't-
tournament?
No, that's different.
You know that's different.
Yes, that's my whole point. Is that when they do wrestle, it's like yes, finally.
No,
Not
there's
like,
there's no final payoff. It's a
talking about there's
random
no final
one
payoff?
match here.
It's a final
There's
payoff
not a
at
team-
the NCAA tournament.
No,
Yes, there is.
I'm with Christian on this.
there's not. You don't get that.
You guys are both wrong.
No, you need the 10 versus
Not
10.
having them wrestle
One team getting their hand raised.
builds anticipation for when they do wrestle. Like that's why Jax versus
The
Marcus
individual matches.
was I was like, yes, we finally get it. We finally get it this year. And
that
then you get 2 more weights at the Olympics.
But it
you get
takes-
Jordan Burroughs and Kyle Dake on an Olympic team.
It takes.
You guys hate wrestling.
Oh, come on.
You guys wish that Olympic wrestling was canceled in 2013. You guys wish that they didn't
We need
save
to bring
wrestling.
Penn back and fire this guy.
What is wrong with
wish-
this dude? I mean, I busted him. We busted him hard for the lies, and now he is reeling.
You guys
He is
hate wrestling.
As
I
Caleb
can't
would
believe
say.
it.
As Caleb would say, he's crashing out, yo.
Yeah, you guys just don't get it.
Unk's crashing out. That could be like the.
How hard you have to defend that, I think, is all we need to say on the matter.
Exactly.
I don't know. Oh wow.
All right, if Penn State and Oklahoma State ever do,
Hey, we got some breaking.
blindfolded.
We have some
Kozak,
breaking
do not
news.
Get to watch.
Okay.
Pat Santoro retired.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah,
Why now?
I don't know. Brad Dillon, new Lehigh head coach.
Interim or official?
I don't know. I'm just reading this from the chat.
Is this real? Hold on. Make sure that's true. That kind of would explain what I was texting you about yesterday, John. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What in the world? All right, hold on.
Well, if true,
Go to Twitter. See if Lehigh put anything out.
I don't know. Jason Bryant is not a one to lie.
Oh, it was Jason Bryant?
Yes.
Oh, I think you buried the lead.
The lead is that Pat Santoro retired.
Well, listen, you said from the chat. Okay.
You guys-
The chat's free. It could be Caleb
No.
for all we know.
There it is.
Oh, my gosh. This is shocking. Pat
a
Santoro,
legend.
truly one of the best in the business. I don't know why you're zooming in like that.
I didn't zoom in.
No, it's
it's not on the
Nikki,
screen. You're getting distracted.
don't be
by stuff
goofy.
not on the screen.
no, it was on the screen. Yeah, I mean, he was there a long time, did a great job. Man, I am very, very surprised to read this. That's unbelievable.
Does it say if he's going to stick around and like help
let's
out
click
with
that
Lehigh Valley
release.
Wrestling Club or anything, or is he just gonna
Wow.
play cards and fish all day?
Okay, after much prayer, reflection, difficult decision, step away. Wow. Huh.
He's done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. How long has he been there?
18 years.
18 years. 18 years.
That is so. Yeah, I'm really just surprised.
It also says that Brad Dillon will lead Mountain Hawks into the 26-27. It's kind of vague about, like, he wasn't named the new
Yeah.
head coach. You know, there's
He'll probably
some
do a
language there.
search at some point.
Yeah.
Wild.
Wow. That is
Wild,
crazy.
wild,
to me.
wild. Okay.
I just didn't see that. I mean,
How old is he?
not that old. He was at Maryland. He did a great job at Maryland.
He's old enough to be Space Father, so. Oh, that's Roger Rayner.
That's Roger Reyna, guys.
who is
We gotta get him
also
on board.
quasi-retired.
Yeah, he's retired. This is his third retirement. Dang, yeah, sorry. Did not expect this. Definitely one of the most respected men in college wrestling, that's for sure. So yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you posted. Obviously, we're finding out with you in real time. But Lehigh, great program. A lot of excitement coming, out of Lehigh this year. And yeah, certain that it's always been a strong program. I don't think that will change. But yeah, Santoro cast a big shadow, and you can't find a person in wrestling without a lot of great things to say about Pat Santoro. So congrats on a great career.
Brad Dillon's been there for a while too, so he knows the ins and outs of that program, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's been there a long time. Definitely since I've been at Flow, Brad Dillon's been there.
Yeah. Wow.
And obviously
Okay.
Zach Ray's been there a while. So
Yeah. Okay.
You guys are lucky that this news came out right when you guys had the worst take of all time.
That's crazy.
come on, son.
You guys
Come on, son.
thinking that
If Penn State,
Penn State and Oklahoma State need to duel is more important than adding 2 weights.
didn't
at
say
the
more
Olympics
important.
is crazy.
I only get to pick one, and it's every year. So if they ever duel, you don't get to watch.
I won't watch out of principle.
Good.
If they wrestle at the NCAA tournament, you guys don't get to watch.
Yeah, we do.
No,
You'd rather
that
have
wasn't
it.
the question.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. All right. Shiny Whooper. That's a great name.
At Durda.
At Dad Durda. My last official wrestling match was to an eventual senior world champion. Is that cool? Or is a loss a loss?
It's very cool.
It would have been cooler if you won.
It'd have been cooler if you said who it was.
Yeah, we don't know if you're telling the truth or not.
I believe him, but it's like, why not? You already said it was a senior world champ. So who was it? But yeah, it's very cool.
It depends on the senior world champ, too, right?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
What senior world champ is not a cool loss?
I don't know.
Which one would you be like, that doesn't count? Not cool.
Like if he lost, like if he quit wrestling in, I don't know, 3rd grade and
It's even crazier.
lost to somebody then, I don't know.
Still a cool thing to say.
I guess it's still cool, but it's less
Shiny,
cool then.
it's cool. Dude, Unk's off today.
Yeah.
You guys don't get
His
it.
takes are struggling.
You guys
You're
care
already
more.
in vacation mode.
Oh, when do you go for vacation?
Not for another week.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
you're on the show Monday?
Can't even get Luke Little's height right.
Oh, yeah. He's reeling.
Yeah. All right. Tyler Perry. The chat agrees with me far more than they agree. Yes, they do.
No one would choose this.
Yeah. All right, Tyler Perry. What's the U.S. Olympic trials qualifying criteria? Has anyone qualified so far? Can you qualify this early?
I think it's possible if you're like a world champ or world medalist in the quad, you automatically get in. We could maybe pull up the 2024. They're going to be similar, but they're going to be different this year because I think they're going to change and we've talked about this, but like I think the trials are going to be in December of 2027 for Olympic trials. So they'll have to change some element of how qualification works. Is anyone qualified so far? I don't think so, unless they're letting like world medalists or any past world teamers automatically in. But we'd have to look that up.
Okay. Next question from Skip Toops. Another great name. Extended eligibility in any form is bad for college athletics. It reduces the opportunity for starting spots for every incoming class moving forward across all sports. Fixing a self-inflicted problem with the lesser of two evils doesn't solve anything. Prove me wrong.
I mean, I guess, but I think now that you have the knowledge of 5 for 5, as you make your decisions, you know who's there. Now, do you know who gets recruited behind you? No, you don't know that, but you kind of understand the circumstances. So. Reduces the opportunity, not necessarily.
Opportunity is more. They have 5 years.
Yeah.
To capitalize off of NIL and their college experience now.
Everyone has 5 years, and it's up to you to create the opportunity for yourself, right? Now, if you go to one of these schools that is stockpiling the best kids in the country, 4 per weight, 3 per weight, then yeah, you have reduced your own opportunity. But if you use your imagination, look elsewhere, then you can get 5 years. I don't think you proved yourself right there, but I certainly understand the disagreement.
Okay.
Now, if you wanted to say extending eligibility for, I don't know, other reasons is bad, you might have an argument. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree, but
People in the chat are saying we didn't give Zahid a chance, or didn't give Dake a chance at all against Zahid. That is just
actually
false.
Right here, Nikki. I was going back through. I was like, I think I said this, and I did, and I think I said that, and I did. I looked at right after Final X. I did a video. Should Kyle Dake change course? This is even before Zahid won Worlds. I was like, no. I was like, he was actually right there with Zahid. I think he can beat Zahid Valencia. I think another year will drastically benefit him. After the World Championships, when Zahid did what he did, 149-0 and killed everyone, I was like, this puts Kyle Dake in a very clear perspective that he might be the second best guy in the world. Coming into this, I mean, you guys know off the mic, I was very high on Dake going out of the open. I loved the way he looked. I thought he was absolutely going to be in contention. So that's just as the kids say, cap.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Caden Harfman. What?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say, but Kozak said there's no shot that
is not true
loses
at all.
He's like, I'll stake my personal and professional reputation on it.
That is not true at all. I said that it was one of those matchups, like when they've wrestled 5 times, you think you know what's going to happen. But this time it's like, dude, I don't know how it's going to play out. And also, I had Kyle Dake ranked ahead of Zahid Valencia in our international rankings going into Final X. And a bunch of people were giving me a hard time about that because they're like, oh, he's the world champion last year. The world championship means more than, whatever, a RAF match or something overseas. It's like, okay. People are going to believe what they want to believe. All right, Caden Harfman. Flow Crew, would you rather be in prison until you can beat a your size Kyle Dake in a match, or prison until you can beat, or until you can,
you know what he means,
Sean O'Malley in a fight? No long-term health damage for either, but you're able to feel immediate pain.
Tell you what, I'm doing life without parole.
Yeah, I would say that's not good. That's like who pushed the rock, Sisyphus? I feel like that's what we're doing to get. We'll never.
Give me Sean O'Malley though, just because you can get lucky.
Chance.
You can get lucky.
But you feel the immediate pain. Like a match.
Fine. He can choke me out.
Now I wonder, is this like?
Yeah, but he might not. He might just punch you a bunch. That's probably what he'll do because you only submit somebody after you knock them down or you take them down. He'll probably just keep punching you in the face.
I'll take a bad shot, give him my back.
Don't you think? Okay.
Then you're never gonna beat him because you only have a puncher's chance.
I'll be training in the off season.
I don't know. I mean, I've never been in like an organized fist fight or anything like that. I've at least wrestled. It would seem like the answer is Kyle Dake. I mean, do I get, if I just have to beat him one time and get a random,
You're never going to pin Kyle Dake.
I don't have to pin him.
You're never going to beat Kyle Dake.
I'll just get it.
That's the only way you could beat him is possibly pinning him.
Listen.
He's going to score more points than you.
Here's where you're wrong. I can be outscored and still win because the refs could screw it up. Okay?
That implies it's close.
I'm going to be unconscious in a Sean O'Malley fight. Right? And who knows how much better. I don't think I could ever add the skills.
I'm going Kyle Dake, not because I think I'm going to win, but because it's less
I don't think I'm going to win.
But because it's less painful every day.
Yeah. I don't know. These are not good options.
I'm getting your ass kicked every day.
Listen, all I'm thinking about is I made some serious bad choices with my legal representation. If this is the punishment I got, this is what I get. This is not a situation I want to find myself in.
Yeah. All right, next question from Shocked FRL. Should having 5 world team members be considered as much of an accomplishment as 5 NCAA national champs?
They're both insane. I don't know. I mean, I think it's harder to do the world teamers, right? But the national title that's the toughest.
It's a little different, though, because you can get guys like Kyle Snyder and Kyle Dake who have these phenomenal careers, and they're like, okay, I have to go here to be the best.
Yes, and here's the case for 5 NCAA champions. The Nittany Lion Wrestling Club can throw everyone in the field. They can have Nittany Lion versus Nittany Lion. You can't. It's like you get one guy at the national tournament, and that benefits Nittany Lion Wrestling Club on the world team side. So in some ways, 5 NCAA champs is maybe more impressive. Or harder to do. I don't know.
We didn't really talk about last show just how impressive of a tournament Nittany Lion had.
Yeah.
And how there's a bunch of back and forth. Penn State, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State's catching up to Penn State on the NCAA side, and then Penn State came out here and kind of reminded everybody who's still boss.
Well, it felt like last spring, summer, Oklahoma State kind of they carried the momentum of that national tournament into a great. Jax had his breakout. Zahid beats Dake, and it's like, and Wyatt makes the team. You're like, okay, this is a huge step forward for them. And then it was a weird spring for the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club for a variety of reasons last year. And then this year, the story was, the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club, how well they performed. Zahid falling to Kyle Dake that's very significant. That should, on paper, the younger world champion should not get run down by a 35-year-old. But that's just, that's how exceptional Kyle is.
Marcus got it back after NCAAs and a head-to-head.
Exactly.
It is kind of crazy though going into this year's like freestyle season, and you're trying to think, okay, it's like, man, how many guys could Penn State get? And you're going through every weight, and like, man, okay, Chance Marceller's coming to 79. All of it, it's like they could get one or two this year.
Just Snyder,
and then they put 5.
Yeah,
it's pretty nuts.
Just Snyder was. I mean. We were all really wrong about 79, but like Jax could have won. He took a match, right? Zane almost didn't come back. It was a great showing by them. Definitely, that was important.
Yep. Okay, from Donk Lesnar.
No, don't do this.
We'll do no.
That's for Kyle.
Okay, this is just for Kyle. Sorry, Donk. You're going to have to wait. Mystic Matt, will we look back on 97 this year as the greatest weight class of all time? If not, what weight do you think was better?
I mean, I think it's hard to find a weight that has currently Olympic champion Sadulayev, Olympic champion Kyle Snyder, Olympic champion Yazdani, Olympic champion Tazadinov. It's just, to have 4, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like 3's happened.
And then you have Yoshida, who's beaten a bunch of guys, and Aitmukan, who's beaten Tajudinov as well. So it's like, holy cow.
It's a crazy weight. It's really top heavy. It's like, I feel like 65 some years. You look at like, man, there's 13 guys in here. Like Haji Aliyev has like the 12th highest odds at the 24 Olympics. Like there's that kind of a weight. And then there's whatever this is, and it is exceptional. Yet, doesn't it feel like there's a really pretty defined pecking order?
Yes.
And you're not going into it being like, who's going to win?
I'd say it gets a little more mixed up after who's going to win.
Yeah.
Like, there's still going to be, like, Kyle's probably the favorite now against Taz, but there's always like, well, if Taz is Taz of 2 years ago, then that's in the back of your head. Yazdani doesn't seem like he really has a chance. He's not the same guy.
But the fact that he beat Azarpira.
So there, you can kind of twist it.
Yeah.
But right? Maybe he was still building into 97 when he wrestled Buchanan, and he'll be a little more filled out.
Here's as I think about this weight class, I think this could be could this be the finishing touches on the GOAT resume for Sadulayev? If you win the weight that has Snyder and Tazudinov and Yazdani, you've already beaten David Taylor. It feels like this could be it won't be the last, we see of Sadulayev. Obviously, he's not going to quit in the middle of a quad, but it feels like once the dust settles on his career, if he has that, it's sort of tough to say this isn't the greatest of all time.
I don't know enough about Satiev's brackets to really comment on that. 3
Olympic titles is crazy for Satiev. The fact that Sadulayev was denied 24, not given the opportunity, is highly unfortunate for him. And then if he goes, so Satiev lost at the Olympics. Brandon Slade double-legged the heck out of him, gutted him, like he lost. Sadulayev, if he goes to 28 and wins in LA, and never loses at the Olympics, that's different. than Saitiev, who won 3 but lost in the 2000 Olympics.
It is different.
I know.
All right, next question. From Tyler Perry. What's more likely by 2028? Luke Lillidahl beats Spencer Lee, or someone else beats Luke Lillidahl? If the latter, who would it be? Anthony Knox, Spratley, Cortez, or Phil Dowd or Ryan Mills?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I think they both have kind of significant likelihood because, well, Luke already did beat Spencer Lee, but Luke also does have close matches. I feel like the field is pretty far. I can hear you, Kyle. I don't know if we're supposed to. Nikki, can you clue me in if we're supposed to be talking to Kyle yet? Because I heard
I'm going to put Luke beating Spencer just because we've seen that in the past year.
Yeah. I think Luke has separate. I have a hard time picking like who I think is, knocking on the door of
who has more separation.
Yeah, I think
Spencer from Luke or Luke from the field.
When all is said and done, I feel like the field is pretty far from Luke in reality. So I'll say him. He set a really high bar in freestyle. So that's my read on it. Okay. Yeah. We ready? All right. We'll stop the questions from friends. We have a very, very special guest. We've been talking about it. Joining us, fresh off his Final X victory. Look at that hat. He's showing the hat. Vitality. Mr. Kyle Dake, the great 4-time world champion, 2-time Olympic medalist. Kyle, how you doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. Just finished up a lift. Got down to Vitality and just getting some work done.
Well, we really appreciate you hopping on. And once again, congrats on masterful performance against Zahid Valencia at Final X. What would you say the biggest difference between last year's meeting with Zahid to this year? What is the biggest difference as you look back on those two matchups?
I don't know if that it's one singular difference. I think a lot of how I've changed since 2024. 2024 was like a really, really hard year for me.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things going on. I've spoke about it before, but just with my dad, and then not accomplishing my goal at the Olympics, and David leaving, and my son getting sick. So there was just like a lot going on. And then, my daughter was born in end of 2024. So, there was just like a whirlwind of things that were going on. And, just that's life. And that's just how it plays out. And I didn't have very many matches at 86 kilos. And I think this year, I think last year was really important just to get those matches in. Then also for, the RAF events and being able to compete at a really high level against a lot of really good guys is also really helpful. So the more I can compete, the better. But when I was at 74, it was really hard for me to compete that much just because it was so taxing on my body. And now it's, being at 86, I'm putting on more size. And I think that's probably another benefit is just being a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit more used to holding the weight. I think this year I moved my feet really, really well. And that's just getting used to the size. So I think there's probably more than just one factor, but for the most part, I think just life happens, and sometimes it goes your way and sometimes it doesn't. So last year it didn't, and he capitalized on it, and he's a freaking beast. He went out and killed everybody at the World Championship. So
when you saw that, and we talked about this a little bit, but I felt after Zahid did what he did at Worlds, it actually puts you in a different light, in a different perspective. Like, because the question was like, how close is Kyle Dake to winning a world or Olympic title at 86? It was a little tougher to say, and then you see Zahid do what he did. Did that give you, and you being kind of a uniquely confident, a lot of belief individual, but did that like give you even more confidence? Like, all right, I'm going to be right there when spring of 26 comes around.
not really. I mean, it was like cool to see him do that. But at the end of the day, like I've been wrestling 86 kilo guys forever, and I know that I'm right there. It's not like I'm just jumping into these brand new waters. I mean, it's different when you compete, obviously, but I've been wrestling with guys who are 210 pounds all my since I graduated college. For how long ago was that? Oh, no. 13 years ago.
Yeah.
So it obviously is a little bit different to compete. And I think that just being able to, I guess, a little bit help, you say, hey, you don't actually stink, it was the right choice to go up. And I knew it was. I wasn't worried about that. But ultimately, there was a plan behind this, and I spoke about this before, just like last year, thinking about how, like, hiding around, like, oh, maybe he's going 79, maybe he's going 86, and trying to play that game a little bit. When in reality, I was just like, hey, I'm just going to go 86. I should have just kind of done that. But you live and you learn. And I think a lot of it was just a lot of outside noise. And this year I was really able to shut that down and just focus on what I do and what I came to do. And I think that just being able to put my best foot forward when I compete is important. And I was able to do that this weekend.
Defensively, I think that's always been one of the main things that stands out about you. It's just so hard to score on you. And I thought it really shone bright against Zahid. With the finishes with Zahid, it seemed like, and Jordan pointed this out on the broadcast, like he was switching off a little quick. Was that something you anticipated going in, or is that something you were just feeling, hey, he's switching off to the double a little soon? You were getting the underhooks and giving him a lot of problems on finishes. Was that something you felt in the moment, or you were prepared for?
You could hear David in the background saying, Zahid, two hands to the leg. And, David and I talked about this, I think, in 2022 was like one of the main things we were working on. It was like, hey, like defensively, if you can wrestle and make sure a guy only gets one hand on your leg, you're probably not going to get it. And I remember spending like weeks on that. And so it hasn't been anything new. And in general, like if you have a guy who's shooting on you, if they only have one hand on your leg, you're going to have a hard time hanging you down. And, I think a lot of it is just preparation and how do you defend? What are you going to do? And if you're focused on the wrong things, like, hey, I need to score my chest wrap. I need to score this. Instead of just wrestling, you can get caught up in that. And I think that first takedown I gave up, I was, trying to jump to a chest lock and wrestle there. And in the past, I was able to get away with that just because I was probably the strongest guy in the weight. But now, these guys are bigger and, you have to be a little bit more tactical. And luckily I'm stronger now this year than I was last year, and I'll keep getting that way. So able to get my legs back a little bit easier. But, still have to put a lot of effort into it and work really hard for it.
I think a lot of people were surprised about Zahid's comments going into Final X the day before. What was your thoughts when you first heard those? What Zahid had said that you were a has-been and it would be no shame in your retirement. Did you take that as like actual shots fired? He's promoting the match. What was your thoughts when you heard that?
I didn't see it until after we wrestled. So I was just off and I wasn't, just Coach Kale talks about all the time, don't inhale, and just focus on what you're doing. And, so I was just trying to make sure that I was focused on the task at hand and being present and being focused on what my goals are. And, obviously you want to promote, and people were talking about it, imagine if he won, it'd be like, oh, he was right. Dake should retire, and then that's the narrative. And, sometimes we just say things in the heat of the moment too. So I don't really know what his intentions were, or, maybe trying to get in my head and try to rattle me a little bit. But, it's just like, I've been saying it forever. I'm getting younger every year, it's like it was kind of a joke at first. And now it's just like, well, I feel better now. My body feels better than it did in the past. And, if I look at my inflammation markers, they're down. So it's like, maybe I'm doing something right. And then also just like the training process and schedule and everything is pretty dialed in down here at Penn State. So, being able to use those coaches and use those resources and just really put everything together is really helpful for an old guy like me, 35.
Sort of. Your friendship with David Taylor has been chronicled and discussed a lot over the years. You talked about him, the adjustment when he went to Oklahoma State. How has that relationship changed, evolved since he's made that move? We've got a lot of questions about that.
He's just busy. Being a head coach is just really a lot of work. And he knew that. I mean, he knew that going into it, that he was going to have to really bust his butt if he wanted to win. And I know he wants to win, and he's going to do anything he can to get there. And, that was just, he made that life decision. And, he's out there, and I'm still training, and he decided he was done. And that's life. And I don't really hold any grudges. I don't really have any animosity toward him. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and he's doing what he's doing. And, he came into town the week before Final X to check on the juice shop upstairs, and two older girls were around, and our kids wreaked havoc around here. So it's just like the old days with the kiddos. So, I don't talk to him that often, just because he's so busy and I'm so busy with running a business, 4 kids, wrestling, coaching, and just that's life.
That's good to hear. You wrestled the number 1 guy in the world in Kadiev overseas in Albania. I've watched that match a couple times. I watched it again this morning. What did you feel in that match? You did lose. I felt like it was a lot more competitive than maybe people are giving credit for. But just your thoughts on that first time meeting Kadiev.
That was a weird trip for me. But it was my first time at 86, wrestling in a tournament in that style. Going overseas, I usually only go when we're, preparing for the World Championships, or, and that's really what it's been. Like the Olympics or World Championships I've been over. I don't remember the last ranking series I went to before that, just because, like I said, making the weight was really, really difficult for me. So going over there, it was just a little bit different. I'd been wrestling the RAF cards, and it's just a different style. It's a different thing that they're producing versus what UWW is putting out for these ranking series. We're in the back room. There's a mat and a half for 400 athletes, and then you got people taking naps on there because there's no room for anybody. That's my biggest gripe with how they run their events, is just the fact that they don't really think about the athletes, their safety, and that's kind of frustrating. But anyway, I think the match, if they don't call the Phantom 1, they gave me 1, which clearly wasn't. Like I tried to wave off the ref. I was like, what are you doing? Then he doesn't get a challenge. He doesn't get a break. And then I feel like I had him kind of on the ropes after that. So, but he's obviously really good. He's got a really good high crotch. And again, that was probably a good lesson for me to learn, to really make sure that I'm, move my feet, get my legs back, and competing, with just a little bit more focus, rather than just like kind of letting things come to you. I know there's a balance between like letting things happen while you wrestle, and then also, forcing the action in certain ways. So, those are just great things to learn. You learn a lot. But I would love to wrestle him again. I'm excited to wrestle him again. I plan to go to the World Championships and win the thing. So I expect to beat the best guys and be with the best guys. And, he's kind of proven himself this year that he's one of the top dogs. So go out and compete really hard.
The thing that surprised me the most, anytime I see you taken down, it's sort of surprising, but the gut afterwards, did that surprise you when he went high cross right to that gut wrench?
No, I don't think it was surprising. I think that there was just, like I said, a lack of focus sometimes. And I don't love saying that, because I like to think of myself as someone who really concentrates and focuses on what the task is at hand. But I'm only human, so just making mistakes, and there's just lessons to learn, and that's cool with me. Like I'm not worried about that. That's just something I'm always working on and trying to get better at. So I think lessons learned is is really good. Even the match that I had for third and fourth against Azerbaijan, like, like I thought time was on the clock and I was behind him with the leg. Could that be 2? I don't know. I don't know what 2 is anymore. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Just the way they're going too. I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. And I know Casey, I know Sammy. I'm like, dude, I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. And so hopefully we can get some clarity on that this summer before the World Championships.
Had you heard that the first time I had heard the verbiage about falling down before they step out of bounds? Were you aware of that? That was not something I was aware of. You're talking about, of course, the Zahid first match takedown.
Yeah, and well, I mean, he's fallen down before both of my feet are out. And I don't know if we have that angle, but to see like when he's falling down versus when both of my feet actually go out of bounds, I don't know. And, continuation, I think in wrestling, you want to have more points on the board. You don't want, a 2-1 snooze fest. You want points to be up there. And obviously you want to get the call right, and because it matters and it's important. And that had huge implications. I think it was a win-win-win for Dave to throw that for Zahid, because he got a break to refocus, listen to 1 or 2 things that Dave was going to say, and then have an 11-second sprint. And if he wins, then he wins. He doesn't need an 11-second sprint. So it made a lot of sense for him to throw that brick anyway. I had never really heard that explained that way. Like you have to be in the act of getting a takedown. So if you think you're trying to suplex somebody, so you look at my left foot, I don't know that it's out of bounds when he's falling down. Like we pause it right when you think he's going to fall down.
Yeah.
It's probably the best spot to look at. So probably not falling there. He takes a step. My left foot's in bounds. Got to go frame by frame. So is my foot out there? Is he falling down? Like when is, and there's an angle that I think from my corner that maybe, I think Tyler was in the corner maybe, but that you can kind of see it. But he we got to work on his camera work. He was all over the place. What is going on with this guy? But I mean, it's so close, and and you want, like I said, you want to get the call right. So I'm sure if you brought Casey on here or Sammy on here, they would be like, yeah, we had 8 different angles and we saw that this was the case, and that's you were out of bounds, and we didn't think he was falling yet. But that's okay. That's just a part of it. And I think if it's I held my head high, leaving the mat there, and it was just like, hey, you were right there. You were doing a lot of really good things, and just keep it up and go get them.
Who is your main coach at Penn State? Is it Casey Cunningham?
Coach Cody.
Or Coach Cody?
Yeah, so I work with Coach Cody and Coach Varner in my corner for all my matches, and I work with them a lot. It was just kind of how it happened when I got here, just because Nolf was obviously in the room and we were the same weight class, and he had just graduated or was graduating when we got down, no, he wasn't. He was done. But anyway, so I kind of just was like, hey, let him choose who he wants in his corner. And once he chooses, then I will, I'll take whatever's next. I just want to wrestle. I just want to be here, and this is where I want to be. And with the whole David and Bo thing, and then athletes competing each other, it's going to happen again. We have a ton of superstars in our room, and there's only 6 spots available for the Olympics, so you're going to have to wrestle one of your teammates and just come up with a game plan beforehand. That's kind of just how it happened. And Cody and I connect just differently, not just in wrestling, but I just enjoy my time with him. And I spent a lot of time with Coach Dake when he was competing as well. So just having that familiarity and building that familiarity. I mean, it's crazy to think that I've been here for 4 years already. Seems like I moved here yesterday, but it's been really fun to have those guys in my corner, and I would have any of them in my corner. I'm always asking questions to Coach Casey, to Coach Kale, to everybody. Mark McKnight, Nick Lee, everybody. I'm asking questions to. So it's definitely just a team effort. It's just about who's out there, who's saying what you need to hear. Do you want someone to slap you in the face and say, hey, let's get going? Or do you want someone to calm me down? All right, you're doing a really good job. Here we go. So it's just a preference thing.
Yeah. How would you say the move to Nittany Lion has added longevity for your career?
I just think having, a lot of teammates around is super beneficial. I got the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. I'd have to count them out, but like 9 guys that are just on the team focused on freestyle wrestling. And then you have 10 guys at the college, 12 guys, 14 guys who are like, hey, they could probably go out and win the spot, at any given weight class. So, there's just a lot of fun energy here, and a lot of people who are striving for the same goals, and just being really focused on what that looks like. And, also their how they view life, and their place in life has been very impactful on me. And, just listening to Coach Kale, listening to Coach Casey, just their perspective, obviously everybody, but like, hey, what are we doing here? What's your purpose? And I think ultimately just like knowing that this is just such a finite piece of who we are, that, there's something much bigger out there for us. And, my faith has really blossomed here. And I think that's probably been more important than any of my wrestling, is to be able to have that.
You've talked a lot about that. Would you just maybe give us that timeline for you, and just how this, how you came to faith, and how that's just had such a big impact on what you're doing, and maybe where you were before that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty long story. Just how, even in college, like I didn't really, like, I viewed myself as agnostic. Like, I didn't really know. I knew there was something, but I didn't know what it was. And I loved, getting in debates with people. And that was just like, I just liked that, like, getting after it type of thing. So whether it was religion or politics or, diet, or how we should grow our food or anything like that. Like, I wanted to fight, and I don't do that anymore, which is awesome. I'm glad I don't have to do that, and I'm glad that's behind me. But yeah, there's my my dad getting really sick, and just some of the things that happened with him. I thought I had a pretty good handle on how to help him, and it didn't work out. And maybe we helped him have a little bit longer on this earth, and just some of the things that when he was close to the end of his life made a pretty big impact on me. And then when my son got sick, we were, it was really, really scary. It was a really scary time. And it wasn't like that's the reason that I fully gave myself to Christ. And I truly believe that he saved Leo's life to bring us to the faith.
I appreciate you sharing that, Kyle. We've got a lot of questions on the longevity, the vitality front. Well, I guess my first question is kind of like, where are you at with, it kind of first came into wrestling fans' consciousness when we did the video about the grounding and the functional patterns and that stuff. Are you still on a similar sort of path for longevity? Have you changed anything? Like, kind of what are you doing these days? People want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, diving deep and trying to make sure that I cover all my bases and understand, what are we doing? What am I doing? How am I doing it? And the principles are there. It's just first principles thinking, and trying to understand, like, hey, how does our body work? How does our mind work? How do our emotions work? And how can we do our best to optimize that? And I'm definitely still getting out in the morning, feet on the ground, looking at the sun, and try to make sure I have a good tan, good base. Really focus on mitochondrial health, and focusing on biomechanics still. It's a little bit different than when I started. I'm working with a guy who's really, really good. He's helped me a lot. and just super appreciative of him. And then, also just thinking about your nervous system, like how does your brain perceive certain movements? Is it safe? Is it not safe? So those are pretty big things. And then, I do all the stuff here at Vitality. I get red light. I do hyperbaric oxygen therapy. I do cocoon water therapy. Those are, hugely beneficial. I think there's some other athletes that you'll see, that in other sports across the industry that are like, yeah, this is like super important to me and really important to my health and my wellness and my longevity of my career. And, you can, a lot of people are like, oh, that's pseudoscience. Like you don't have to do it. You're just a little late or I'm early to the party maybe. And you just gotta try it out for yourself. And, I love data. I love to look at the data, and I'd love for there to be a 100-year study on the impacts of hyperbarics on all sorts of different things. But yeah, I've seen the results that I've gotten, but also what my clients have gotten out of it, who are in way worse shape than I am, and I think there's this first principles. What are the most basic things that we can enhance or fix? And then after that, what's the next step up? And you kind of just keep working your way towards that. And I think testing is super important. Understanding where you are. And there's a difference between biophysics and biochemistry and how do they interplay with each other. What season are we in? How are we doing? What are our hormones doing? There's a lot that goes into it, and the unfortunate part is that a lot of the information that we have is for men, so that's fortunate for me. But there's a lot of women out there who are asking questions for me, and I'm like, hey, like the data doesn't totally exist, so we're kind of just going for it for you, and we've just seen a lot of really cool results here, and just being able to help people, and from 1 year old, or my daughter was 2 weeks old when we got her in here, and then we've had some pretty young people, and then we've had some 90-year-old grandpas and grandmas come in, and they're limping on the way in and they're jogging on the way out, so it's pretty cool.
That's great. Have your children started any sports yet?
Yeah, Ella Jo and Emmy, they both wrestle, so that was fun. Ella Jo's actually pretty good. Emmy is she's more of a performer. She likes wrestling, but she likes the camaraderie more. Ella Jo loves the camaraderie, but she's also kind of a beast, so she can get out there and kind of hold her own most of the time. Lefty headlocks are still hard. I remember I was a sucker for a lefty headlock, and but yeah, it's fun. My Leo, he loves wrestling. He's not old enough. He was only 3 during wrestling season, so he didn't really get any opportunities to like lace him up. But he's a big kid, so he'll probably end up wrestling next year. But their best sport is probably soccer. They're really good at soccer, all of them. Their mom was a Division III soccer player, and I love soccer too. So FIFA World Cup going on right now is awesome. Missing a match or two, but all good.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. All right, we got a couple questions from listeners. A few about just kind of like, hey, what are some lifestyle easy, like what are basically like if you could give 3, hey, here's 3 things you could do they're going to make you feel better or do better. Like not everyone has access to everything, but what would you say are like the big 3?
Well, number 1 would just be follow Vitality Wellness Club on Instagram.
There you go. Step 1.
Put out a ton of content out there. So like anything, not anything, but a lot of things that you're asking questions for, you can just find it there. So yeah, just follow us there. I'll answer a lot of those questions. But I think getting out in the sun, putting your feet on the ground is probably the easiest thing. It's something that's super simple that you can do. And that kind of just starts your day off right and will get your circadian rhythm going. And your diet, if you can eat seasonally, that'd probably be the next one. So, whatever you can grow in your backyard, eat that. If you can't grow it in your backyard, don't eat that. If you can grow a cow in your area, you eat the local cow. Get some chickens, and you don't have to have chickens, but just find a farmer. I know that's hard for people who are in the city and doing that sort of thing, but just focus on where your food's coming from. The more local, the better, and the more time they spend on pasture, the better. So that's two, and then the last one. Let me see. Um, just timing of when you eat. Actually, no. I mean, I would include that in the first one. Timing matters. That kind of steps into the circadian biology a little bit too. But you got to move. You got to move your body. Your body was designed to walk. It was designed to run. It was designed to throw, and you got to be able to continue to do that. So, yeah, just get outside, do your workouts outside, eat in the season, and it's going to take some consistency. Like having one meal is not going to make a huge difference. But yeah, those are pretty good. If you're in general healthy, those are probably the best. But if you have if you're dealing with all sorts of brain fog and low energy, and I mean, there's so many things that people are dealing with. There could be other lower hanging fruit or more things that you need to do. It could be your environment that you're living in. You could have water damage or mold in your house. You could have all sorts of different things.
I had a question here from Bobby Keble. Who's the best foreign wrestler you've ever faced? Non-American.
Best foreign wrestler I've ever faced. Sargouche was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
He hit some pretty cool stuff, pretty crazy stuff.
You broke your hand that match, right?
Sidikov was awesome. I mean, he just wrestled really hard, and yeah, he was really good. And those two are probably two of the best. Who'd you say? You said somebody else?
No, I was going to say, didn't you break your hand in that Sargouche match? Am I remembering correctly?
Oh, yeah. No, I broke my hand before that match. So
okay.
I was wrestling Keith Gavin, and I was in quad pod, and he was doing one of the Keith Gavin things that he does, which is like just a weird breakdown. And I just kind of fell over my hand and just went, and I was like, what is going on here? And taped it up, and I said, I think I broke my hand. And Coach Zeke's like, well, we wrestle tomorrow. Like, you want to just let it rip? I was like, yes, sure, let's go. So I wrestled, and I wrestled pretty well. I beat Sargouche, and then I can't even remember who I lost to, another Russian. And then I lost to an Azerbaijan guy. That match was kind of weird. I think it was ended up being 5-5 or something like that. But Aliyev, I think was his name. Burroughs wrestled him a bunch of times back in the day. But yeah, so that tournament was fun. That was in 2013, I think.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Had a question here from Donk Lesnar wanting you to preview your upcoming RAF match in Tbilisi, your excitement about headed into that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Obviously, he's really good. He's done a lot of – he won U23s, and he's beaten a lot of good guys. He wrestled Parker really well. He beat Zahid, and he's just a young kid who's hungry and wrestles hard, and it's really exciting to be able to be a part of RAF. I was part of their first event. I've been a part of some of their biggest events, and now we're going international, and to be a part of it is something special. It's more like what can we give back to the community? And people have wanted a pro wrestling league for a long time. So to be able to be a part of that building process, and 10 years from now, when we're at RAF 120 or whatever it is, there's going to be some young kids who are doing really well and who have seen what RAF has become and just want to be a part of it. I have a lot of fun with the events, and just the whole experience is something pretty special. It doesn't feel like a typical wrestling event. It's like, actually they care about the athletes, and they really want to make it an athlete friendly event. But then also they're running two shows at the same time. They're running the in-house show, and then they're running the video show for the TV, and it's like basically two different things. And unless you have been to one of the events and then also have watched it on TV, you don't really understand the difference between the two. And the energy there is always electric, and I love wrestling overseas, especially when there's, sold out events. I mean, we were in Iran one time and it was sold out for the Clubs Cup and the Olympics, obviously. And that's really fun to wrestle in front of fans like that. Wrestling, I'll wrestle anybody anywhere, in the back room. But wrestling in front of fans is a lot more fun, a lot more energizing.
Two questions, then we'll let you go, Kyle. First one, a lot of people wondering about Ono. What's it been like having him around? You were one of his favorite wrestlers when growing up, and now you train alongside him. How's he doing?
He's awesome. He was lifting at the same time as me. He was in a circuit. He's wrestling in 2 weeks. He's the man. I just like being around him, and it's cool to see him lock in. He's a happy-go-lucky guy, and then he'll lock in, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, there he is. There's a competitor who's ready to go kick butt, and I just do my best to help him, and just give him some little pointers, little advice. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with wrestling. It's just other things, and just trying to see him do really well and be super successful. He loves folk style wrestling. He just wants to wrestle folk style. And he's getting a lot better, so it's cool to see his progress. And obviously, he's one of the best takedown artists in the world. So he's gonna do really well on his feet, and just watching him get better on the mat, it's pretty cool.
And then we had a question: when does the Combat X shoe come out from Master Santiago? He wanted to know that.
I'm with Spartan, so we still have the Spartan shoe, the Kyle Dake 01s, and then the 1.5s. But
I thought those were Spartan
I'm not
shoes.
sure.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, all good. Spartan, the new ones, the new colorways. We were sampling some, just trying to figure out if we want to pull the trigger on those or not. But the white shoes are awesome. I love those ones, and I love the Olympic ones. So, it's something that I'm really passionate about. I love having a shoe that actually works for the human body. And I've noticed it too. You wear shoes and you have to break them in. I'd be curious to see if there was any data to show like the number of injuries that happen within 2 weeks of opening up a new pair of shoes. Because I feel like I've seen trends like that, and hopefully that doesn't happen with the shoes that I'm developing.
Awesome. JD?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions for you, Kyle.
Hit me, JD.
How do you ground and touch grass when it's cold and snowy outside?
There's this thing. It's a really cool invention. It's called a shovel. And you just take the shovel and you push the snow out of the way, and then you put your feet on the grass. It's awesome. It's like the coolest thing ever.
Okay. Even when it's like 0 degrees? You're still getting out there barefoot?
Yeah, when it's whipping wind, it's hard. When it's really windy out and it's just sub-zero, it's like really hard to go out there and stuff. But if you have the means, you can get a sleeping mat. I use Ground Lux is the brand that I use, and I just put my feet on that, and whether it be working at my office or if I'm in my room or in my bed, it's the same thing. I'm getting grounded most of the day.
Okay.
And you can do it inside.
And last one I got for you. We had a little discussion debate last show, and maybe you're not the best guy to answer this because you're still in your competitive career, but maybe you are. When your career's all done, you only get to win one. Rank them: Olympic title, world title, NCAA title, in terms of like which you most want to win.
Olympics will be first. It's kind of hard, I guess. I mean, I haven't had it, so it's hard for me to answer too. But the Olympics, just because it's kind of the pinnacle, and you only get one shot. A lot of guys only get one shot at it. World title. I mean, you got to be so good to win a world title, and you got to have a lot of things happen in your favor to get there. You have a lot of guys who go out and you think they're some of the best, and just they stub their toe or whatever, and they aren't able to compete at their best, and they don't win it. So winning NCAAs was so electric though. It was so sick. That's a hard question. I'd probably go probably Olympics, Worlds, then NCAAs.
I knew you were the wrong person to ask.
JD's Mr. NCAAs.
I said Olympics 1, then NCAAs, then Worlds.
Yeah, I could see NCAAs being there. I mean, the NCAA tournament is just so fun. I mean, it's one of the best events in the world. I mean, it's so fun, and you only get 4 chances at it. I've had however many cracks at being a world champion. Obviously, it's really, really difficult. Being an NCAA champion is really difficult too. So, but the timing makes it really hard. I understand, JD.
I didn't say which is the most prestigious or which is harder, just in terms of which I would most want to win. And that would be Olympics, then NCAAs, then Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have another one for you from the chat. There's a lot of conversation about how long you're going to wrestle, and then what do you want to do after you're done?
Yeah, I mean, I just try to be pretty present. I had all these grand ideas in 2011, or from 2008 to 2012, and they didn't turn out the way I thought. And then I had all these grand ideas from 2012 to 2016, and they didn't turn out the way I thought. And I thought I was going to retire in 2016, and then that didn't turn out the way I thought. I thought I was going to be the head wrestling coach at Cornell for a long time, and that didn't turn out the way I thought. So, I can come up with as many plans as I want, but God always seems to laugh at me with that, and just like, hey, just be where you are, and keep going along. I got a good plan for you. So I don't know. I mean, I know I want to compete through 2028. I know RAF is a lot of fun, so if I can still compete in RAF, I'll probably do that. In 2028, how old will I be? 37. So that's young. I mean, you guys, everyone thinks that's old. That's young for me.
You're right.
But
you're exactly right.
I mean, honestly, it's just like I look at these young kids, and I just, there's a lot of wisdom to be had, having so many matches and the competitive career. And, you look at some of these young guys like Luke and Marcus and PJ, and then, the success they had at age group, and then, the success they're having now, and, making senior world teams and winning NCAA titles really young. And they're freaks, like I remember winning NCAA title as a freshman and be like, well, I'm glad I don't wrestle. That version of me doesn't wrestle today because I'd get whooped, but I would have adapted eventually. But I just think that there's a lot of really young guys who have a lot of really good experience. But it's different when, you have 15 years as being, super high level in the sport of wrestling, and just the wisdom that you get from it. Talking to Coach Casey a lot, he's like, I feel like I didn't really learn how to wrestle until I was 35. And then, but I was coaching, and, Coach Casey is still one of the best top bottom wrestlers in the world. Maybe we'll come up with the world championships where it's just top bottom wrestling and folk style, and or even freestyle too. But
yeah, the stories from the room about Casey Cunningham, the lore is just insane. What a beast that guy must still be.
I had to try really, 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 really hard when I wrestle him. Really hard.
Wow. Maybe 2028, Casey Cunningham.
He's back. He's back. I think he just turned 50. He'll put me in my place real quick.
Dang.
50 versus 37. Easy.
Well, he's a monster. You're a monster, Kyle. We really appreciate you coming on. You're a marvel, and it's so impressive to see what you're doing, regardless of how old you are. It's incredible. I'll give you the last word and just send you off with my thanks.
Yeah, just really appreciate the time, and just being a part of this great country is awesome. And to be able to represent it is something really special. And most importantly, being able to represent God and following Christ has been the joy of my life. And if people have any questions or anything, just you can reach out. And I'd be happy to talk about it. So, God bless. Thank you.
Bless you, Kyle. Thank you so much for your time. The great Kyle Dake. Always a pleasure. Always a treat to catch up with him. Nikki, What's your? I know you have a flat Earth meeting at 11 Central. Do we need to go now? He doesn't care. He doesn't mind being late because time doesn't exist really in the flat Earth.
I mean, I think before we leave, we do have a lot more questions, so we can answer those. But I've heard from Virginia Tech staff.
Okay.
They say Bo has got 5 years.
Okay.
They met with compliance maybe 45 minutes ago at this point.
45 minutes ago.
Is this, compliance has been wrong before, as we famously know on this show.
Oh my, have they ever? Now Virginia Tech's compliance.
All I'm saying
One of one.
is that
Pull up that little chart thing you were showing me this morning, Jonathan.
yes,
And help me.
They say why?
they said that he 100% has 5. This class is grandfathered in.
But here's what I think. Okay, I thought they were grandfathered in that they could choose one or the other. I thought that
Correct.
was the grandfathering.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I
if
don't
he's
know.
grandfathered in, then he doesn't get 5.
Well, so here's
He gets grandfathered into the 5 for 5, but not the age part
there-
of the rules.
there could be
All I care is I love
there
it.
could be something that isn't written in this
Flow chart.
this chart where the age, like the September 1st cutoff line, doesn't
Well, why would
apply.
that be different?
I don't know. I'm just
For
putting it out
1
there.
year. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I understand why they could opt into the old rules versus the new rules.
I understand that as well.
What I don't understand is why where does it say September 1st? I know it's in here, but
Let's see. I'll do a little
Command F
Command
that.
F that.
okay.
Age-based trigger. We're all triggered by the age.
Yeah, we're triggered right now.
Yes.
The start of the regular academic year following the student athlete's 19th birthday. If the student athlete turns 19 before September 1, he did, for an individual who turns 19 years old on or after September 1st, period begins at the start of the subsequent academic year.
Yes.
So it doesn't say that this does not apply to,
2026
it
grads.
doesn't say that. So,
Yeah.
but obviously not everything this is not an all-encompassing document. We can learn about pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it says who's affected. And so then it says the current students, they get either the previous rules or the new age-based rules, whichever is most beneficial to the student athlete.
Right.
So he gets to choose. However, because
You know what?
I don't get it.
Here's the thing. Because the haters are going to be out in force, just like they were when JD and John and I just happened to posit about a certain other wrestler's eligibility. And I'll be darned if FRL didn't cost a kid a year of his eligibility. So let's not argue too strong. If Virginia Tech says it's 5, I think we've said enough because we know the power of the show. We know we can end careers.
We don't wanna do that.
JD could end
Created
your
an
career.
NCAA dream, though.
He created an NCAA dream.
Can't remember who got in when Tyler Brennan got kicked out, but somebody got in that wasn't going to get in.
You did create that dream. But yeah, John Kozak, is he trying to actively?
I would never, ever try
We
to-
don't want that. I was sad. I was sad this morning, and now I don't want to get too excited. But if Virginia Tech, they certainly know more about eligibility than I do. So this is great. Hope it's true. I can't find it on this document anywhere, but that doesn't matter. So that's great news. Where to next?
We got a couple more questions. Let's see. We did this one. We did that one. Okay. What does this say?
If Tech Falls were 25 points, would Mitchell Messbrink still be able to achieve 75% bonus next year? Yes.
Yes.
He's
Okay.
going to pin more people, and if he has that bar to get to, he'll just
Do it.
do it.
A lot of his texts aren't coming late in the third period.
No.
Yeah. Okay. We did this
That
one. Okay. This is from Master Santiago. 2-part. Any update on Spencer Lee's health? Looked pretty scary at the end of their last match. Should there be concern with Spencer's health going into the World Championships?
No more than you would be for him normally, right? He is someone who everyone knows his injury history is, it exists. But I think out of Final X, no. I think the head, not a concern. The elbow will get better. It's going to heal. And I don't think it was particularly limiting at Final X, and I think by the World Championships, if it continues on the trend line it's on, it's going to be fine.
We got 4 months till Worlds. That's
I mean,
a lot of time.
Yeah, darn near 5. So he'll be fine.
Okay. Brady Stafford, is James Green a medal threat? Who would be considered the favorite? Aoyagi, Jamalov, Sidakov, Sakazanov?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think if you told me, hey, Sidakov's entered, you'd probably say him. But, man,
You'd be losing.
the results are not there. I mean, is it Salk's time? Maybe.
Sidakov needs to ground and touch grass.
He needs – no. Keep doing what you're doing. Zauerbeck, it's perfect. Change nothing.
Russian Nationals is in 2 weeks, so we'll find out how Sidakov looks then. I did just update both the international rankings and the World Championship rankings, so it's a little redundant, like those two ranking sets. But you pull out the duplicates of the countries in every single weight. So right now I have James Green ranked number 8 in the world, and I don't have Jamalov in because he's been up at 79. I think he's going to drop, but James lost to Itayev earlier this year. He also lost to Aoyagi. But, I mean, I think he's right there in this group with Yazdani, this guy from Kyrgyzstan, Kapanov. So, like, if he medals, it's not the most surprising thing that's ever happened. He could do it. I mean, he's looked great. James has looked really good. If he won gold, I would be surprised, but I would love it.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. A couple more questions. What's your thoughts on people saying this team is weak? What weights do you think we are favored to medal? This is from Delayed Jordan.
I don't think this team is weak. I think it's a really good team. And ultimately, the teams are judged by what they do, at the World Championships. I'll go through it weight by weight. Like where do I think we are more than 50% to medal? Like likelihood. I think 57 still we are likely to medal. I think 61 we're likely to medal. I won't say 65 at this point. I don't know if I'd say 70. Are we likely to medal? Are we more likely than not to medal?
At 70?
Yeah, I would say that's
likely.
More likely. Okay. 74, we are not as likely. 79, we will. 86, I don't care. I honestly feel pretty strongly. Kyle Dake's going to find a medal.
Yeah.
He's going to come home with something.
It's hard to not talk to him and then say he's not gonna.
No,
like I have I was gonna I say that to say like, man, I have more confidence now. Just like kind of hearing his process and like his time overseas and what he felt in those matches and everything.
Rewatch those matches, man. I'm like, dude, he can absolutely beat Kadyev.
Yeah.
Ramazanov, we'll see. We haven't seen much of him. Dezhoev, I mean, he's backside on a double leg at the end of that match. I think he should have won that. Gazimpor, Zahid beat him. David Taylor's beating him. I think Kyle Dake can beat him. He has a hard time with 6 minutes. I really think he can win this weight. I really do feel like he's going to medal.
I think he's going to medal. I think Dake winning this weight class would be, and he's done a lot of impressive things. It might be the most impressive thing if he wins gold.
There's no question this is the toughest field he's ever entered in a Worlds or Olympic bracket. Well, maybe 21 was really good. 21 Olympics.
Yeah.
But he didn't win that one, right? If he wins this one, it would be the toughest weight he's ever won. I acknowledge.
I'm here for it.
But he's going to do well. He will medal.
So
wait, I was counting. 92 we're going to medal. 97's going to medal. Whew.
Heavyweight?
No. I think I had like 7 where I feel like more likely than not we medal. That's a good team. If we get 7 medals, that's amazing. Now you could say I don't agree with you. But yeah, I think 7's possible.
Well, and that's the trend is we've kind of overperformed.
Yeah.
So, all right, Randall Goldsworthy. If you were a coach at Final X, would you consider having an assistant listen to the commentary? Jordan's insights were spot on.
That they were. Yeah, I'd consider it. Did we do this one last show?
No, we talked about it pre-show.
Oh, okay.
We may have done it last show too, but it's worth saying. We did get some super chats.
Oh, wow.
We got 4, so people are feeling generous today. Let's see. This one says this is $2. Does this rule affect Ono or no? We don't know.
We think.
It might.
We think it does.
Could. All right. Bachelor for Life. This is Space Burner. No, it's not. But says, what is Carter Starachi doing now? Wrestling still or MMA?
I think he's more on the MMA path right now.
SeaWorld.
Yeah, he's traveling. Seems like he was in Austin the other day, or a couple weeks ago.
All right. Next one from Stay Humbled. Want an interview with Angelo Ferrari. What does he hope to bring to the table next season?
Maybe we'll work on that. Try to get Angelo on the show.
Yeah, that'd be good.
His brother recommitted to
Morgan.
Morgan State.
Morgan State. Anthony. The freight train.
Still no word on AJ.
Yep, no word.
And then Zayspace21. He said he saw an interview with Sadulayev. Said he wants exactly 2 more world titles and 1 more Olympic title. How significant is that for USA and wrestling?
Well, it's significant. I mean, until proven otherwise, he knocks everyone down a peg on the podium. Till you go and do it, that's just the mathematical reality. 2023 happened, and beyond that, that's pretty much it. 2017 happened, but by and large, he goes and wins. And he's not showing. There's not like the. I'm trying to think of a wrestler, but we've seen it. They have the height of their powers, and they kind of come down, and you see the results and how they're. Not sure we've seen that yet with Sadulayev. I'm not sure I've seen this guy is worse.
He's different. He's evolved. I don't know about worse.
That's it. That's what I feel too. I feel like he's winning a little bit differently, but I think at the end of it all, he is a freak.
We saw it in 23, and I thought okay, this is the beginning of the end.
I know.
And I was like, nope, never mind.
You need that second data point connecting those two, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. All right, we got another super chat just came in. It says, not a soccer fan, but their club system's interesting.
I don't know anything about it.
Well, the second half will make sense. Why doesn't senior level wrestling have national clubs with weekly matches? So why don't we see USA versus Iran, USA versus Russia?
I don't know. Is that what we do in America? They have weekly matches with overseas. I don't know.
Or just like a pro league. I don't know. I think the answer is probably money, right?
Money and this, that. There's just so much.
It's an individual sport.
And all that matters is like the trial and then the ultimate world championships. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have 2 more questions. You want to do them?
Yeah.
Bobby Kebbell, what do you think was the best U.S. senior world team ever? My vote goes to 2018.
Let's pull in all the not now. This is.
I'm like, you want me to do this right now?
No. For next show Monday, let's have this, and we'll look at all the 10 teams.
I actually do have a spreadsheet that has this.
How much weight do you put on the placement we got at Worlds? Because a team can maybe be better, but if they weren't champions,
that's what we'll get into on Monday.
Okay.
I do have this spreadsheet already.
Okay.
We call it tease.
A little tease. Industry terminology.
Let's see. Look at this. Nope, that's not it. All right.
He doesn't have it.
I'd have it.
Kozak has no spreadsheets.
Okay.
He doesn't even have access.
Wrong spreadsheet. All right, last question.
Tough show for you, Coach.
You guys are bad. You guys are wild. I love you both. All right. Dan Monthly for Prez, Father's Day edition questions. What's your wildest wrestling dad story from a youth high school tournament, like ridiculous crash outs or fights or whatever? What's your favorite memories so far being a wrestling dad yourself? JD, you go first.
JD has a wrestling dad?
As both of your fathers.
Man.
I feel like I never really witnessed, I'm sure I did and just don't remember anything truly crazy growing up.
I've had some, what's the biggest crash out I've had from a parent? One time a kid, I don't know if I've told this story or not. One time a kid got caught stealing at a tournament by another coach, and that kid got in. I think I threw that kid off the team, or maybe I forget what happened. And then when he got picked up, the parents crashed out on me and said that he didn't do anything wrong and that he was stealing for another kid, and so he's fine. And it was just like, I was like, I can't believe I'm having this conversation.
It's an ethical debate.
Yeah, an ethical, yeah. It's
Do you steal the bread to feed your family?
yeah. Do you steal the PSP to, whatever? So that was a crash out for sure.
I only coached for 4 or 5 years in Ohio. Our team was not very good, so it wasn't crazy crash outs from
4 or
Bears.
5 years is a decent amount.
Yeah, but our team wasn't very good, so it wasn't like
There's no deep runs.
But I specifically remember as a kid, I would wrestle this one guy. I want to say his name. He ended up wrestling at the University of Michigan. He was very good. He would kill me all the time. And one time he teched me and didn't pin me. And the kid's dad was just yelling at him.
Oh my
screaming.
gosh.
Kid comes off the mat just crying. I think we were 10 or 11 years old. And so that'll kind of forever stick in my mind as man, what are we doing?
I did one time when I was in high school. We dueled Devic Poli, who at the time was really good. This was their Dylan Peters, Brandon Sorensen, Wolfensberger's years.
Yeah.
I won't throw the person under the bus, but one of the really good guys was facing one of our second year wrestlers or something, and must have been going for the takedown. I don't know if it was in-season record or career record or what, because he didn't just not pin him and tech fall him. He grabbed Gomez and pulled him into a double leg and fell over to get taken down so he could continue to get more takedowns on him.
Wow. That's crazy. I've seen a decent amount of crazy youth stuff with coaches, Texas youth wrestling. I forget. I don't know. Sometimes I want to throw the club under the bus, but I guess I won't just yet. Maybe one day it'll accidentally come out. But yeah, just some wild dad coach crash outs in the corner that don't make sense. But yeah, not bad. Nothing that Caleb Piles can't handle. He'll go right up in these coaches and talk to them. Favorite memory from being a wrestling dad? I don't know. This year's just been really fun. Just watching him kind of get on fire for wrestling has been really cool. But state tournament was obviously fun because he had to beat 2 kids that beat him to place. So that was super sick. But more to come.
Here we go.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
That was the last question.
That's the last question.
And it is almost noon, which is when Nikki's Flat Earth meeting happens. That's probably a Zoom call. Yeah, there's the music. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. Another thanks to Kyle Dake for hopping on the show, giving us a great 30-plus minutes. We will be back Monday, normal time. I don't remember who's here other than me. And I think JD.
I'll be here.
And maybe even Kozak. Maybe it's just normal. But yeah, the summer's weird. We're on the move a lot, and we appreciate you guys adjusting to us. Thanks again to Nike Wrestling, and we will see you Monday. Have a great, great weekend, guys. See ya.